Yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Najee from Cigar Talk. And today I got a very special guest, man. Seated to my right, y'all been flooding me in the comments asking for him, and here he is, my man, Devin Haney.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Nah, man, thank you, bro. I appreciate this. We in the legendary Top Rank gym.
Yeah.
Preparing. Obviously, they just announced a huge fight, you versus George Kambosos, man. Getting here was kind of crazy, right? Like, at first it didn't look like this was about to happen, you know what I'm saying? Tell me about just, your process actually getting to this moment.
Yeah, well, as far as just the fight or
just the fight,
definitely didn't look like it was gonna happen. Me and my team, we was pushing for it for a long time. Even though, I've been calling out the top guys for a long time now, and my card got pulled. Finally, I forced my card to be pulled. I put it there, put it right in front of their face, and they had no choice but to pull it. But yeah, I mean, this is my new home. This is where I'm at due to making this fight happen. And I've always said I would do anything to make the biggest fights happen, and it's shown. Here I am.
Absolutely, man. First of all, a lot of respect because I feel like you ain't negotiated as not the A side in a minute. It feels like to me, outside looking in at least, and I know, he was pretty open just regard to the business, him saying like, he gonna have to do these terms or whatever the case was. But how hard was that for you? Just
see, with this fight, he's the A side because he has the belts or whatever the case may be. But
we know.
We know. We know who's really the A side.
Sure.
It's like he's the A side, but everybody knows who's the man. And on June 4th, I will show it.
Nah, for sure. You going out to Melbourne, Australia, bro, to really do that. Like, I take a lot of balls, number one, to like go to somebody's home territory and really like take that. Because we see, I seen the Joe Horn versus Pacquiao. That was kind of close, and they feel like, how does that make you feel? Just that you got to go to the other side.
That's how I look at it. Robberies happen in the U.S. A lot of robberies. How many robberies have we it's too many to count. We don't even. It's so many robberies happen all over, all over. No matter where the fight is. But me and my team, we're doing our best to make sure that it's fair judging, neutral judges, or if it's not neutral judges, it's going to be a U.S. judge and an Australian judge. It's going to be, we're going to be on even playing field. Yeah. But that was all I demanded. I just wanted fair judging. That's all I wanted. Right. Nothing else. What you guys can have, whatever you want, the bigger lump sum of the money, or the bigger that you guys wanted to be there, whatever the case may be. I just want fair judging. I want to be on a fair playing ground, and that's all.
Nah, for sure. This camp, obviously, you about to, I feel like, start getting ready, start to mentally prepare. Do you watch tape? You watching film and stuff like that? You watching like the T.O. fight, the Mickey Bay fight?
No, yeah, of course. I mean, that's part of it. That's the art of war. You got to know who you up against, who you fighting. Yeah. We going into battle, and you got to study your opponent. So that's definitely part of it. Anybody that tells you that they don't, they just crazy or they're lying. They're lying, or they're lying. So we do a lot of studying because the whole thing is to go in there and handicap the person that I'm fighting. That's what I will do. I study George Kambosos. I know the things that he does best, and the things that he doesn't do not so good. Yeah. So we're gonna use the things that he does not so good against him, and the things he does best, we're gonna take away from him.
For sure. I mean, you definitely got a high ring IQ. You showed it a bunch of times, like a bunch of different fights. This one in particular, like he showed a lot in the T.O. fight. I think he was an underdog. People didn't really feel like, obviously styles make fights. You and T.O. don't really like fight alike and nothing like that. Yeah. But did that make you earn more respect for him or give him more respect?
On any given night, if you're not going, if you underestimate somebody, you're going there not focused, then you can lose, and that's what happened with T.O. He on that night he wasn't focused. He underestimated him and he lost. That's just boxing. That's how things can happen in sports, period. So I didn't gain more respect for him or anything like that. I understood that this is what happens, and it just made me want to dedicate myself to the sport even more, to where I never have one of those moments.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously Ramadan just started. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you fasting? Is that a part of your? Are you still fasting while training?
No, I'm not fasting right now because it's
too hard. Crazy, right?
It's too hard. I mean, I could if I change my schedule around, but honestly, I don't even have much time to even change my schedule around because I pretty much work out 2 to 3 times a day, where it's like from the time that I wake up to I go to sleep, I'm working. So hopefully next Ramadan, inshallah, that I'm able to fast.
Yeah.
But last Ramadan, I was preparing for Linares, so it just happens like this. But this is my job, and hopefully, God willing, inshallah, that I can make it up after.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Man, you know this is what I feel like you've been calling for the whole time, undisputed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what you've been waiting for. This is the chance. How big of a moment is this to you? Just acquiring these belts. And
It's a huge moment for me, to be honest. I don't really feel like it even have like sunken in. Like it's just like I'm looking at it as just a regular fight, because I don't know. I just feel like, you know, it's just me preparing for another fight. Even though I know that it's a big fight, but just really hasn't sunken in yet.
So do you keep the mentality like it's kind of the same shit for you, like same fight, same
Yeah,
way?
I mean, as of right now, I mean, I'm still young. I'm still learning on the job. So, you know, I can only say right now what I'm going through. So, yeah, it's just like I'm just looking at it as another fight. We're preparing, training as hard as possible, just like we do every other fight.
Yeah.
And,
I think it was interesting. Obviously, like, you know, a couple people was trolling you with the whole email champ thing, the way the belts and stuff kind of went. Do you feel like, did that make you feel away? Just the idea, like, you know, you caught the belt, but it was, you know, it was a lot of politics. You got the franchise, and then Loma took.
That's why I've been calling for the biggest fights for a long time now, because just to stamp my name and let them know that I am a true champion. And it's crazy how God works. Look, now I'm fighting for everything. And then what can you say now? What can you say? What can you say then? You can't say nothing, because now I have it all. There's not even, it won't be no one else with a belt.
Right.
So
they're gonna have to go through you.
They're gonna have to go through me. So no more ducking, no more, you know, saying anything about nothing, because I'm gonna have it all.
Nah, for sure. I love that. Obviously, we don't want to look too far ahead, because you got to, like we said, you got a real tough fight coming up. But, you know, I mentioned Loma, right? Like, and I know at a point, you know, you and Loma was going back and forth on social media, and that's a big fight as well. You know, people want to see that. Are those things like, you know, obviously, like I said, you can't think too far ahead because you got a huge fight coming up. But are those things in your mind, like, you know, if I win, I'm trying to take on the next big one, or you kind of taking it slow?
Of course, I want to make the biggest fights happen. I'm not ducking or dodging anybody. I want to fight the best fighters out there. And once we get past George Kambosos, the next best guy is who we want to fight. No matter if it's Loma, if it's Tank, Tio. You know, I'm all in. I want to make the biggest fights happen. And
Nah, for sure. I think it's interesting, man. Your business model, your business acumen was a lot different than the way everybody else does it. I feel like, at least when I first heard of you early on, like you came in Devin Haney Promotions off rip, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like most fighters or most people, like they kind of get hot first and then start like their joint. Tell me about that, like just the business side of like why you chose to really do that first.
Just my whole career up to this point, I've just been betting on myself, and you know, my dad has played a huge role in that. You know, just installing that in me, and you know, we just felt like, why would I sign to a promoter for this amount or whatever this case may be? If I build myself up and I come as a company, then the deal will be a lot bigger, and that's what we did.
Nah, for sure. Tell me about them old days, man, because you started like in Mexico, dog. Like you was fighting. Like I said, I don't really hear people who do that. Like you just over in Mexico really fighting. What was that like? Like that part of your life, like young Devin. You in the middle of Mexico, I'm sure nobody fucking with you. Everybody like, you know what I'm saying?
So it's kind of like this Australia situation, just on a much smaller scale. Like I would be fighting a bar, but it would be the whole bar would be against me. It'd be like 100 to 200 people.
Just Mexicans going crazy.
Like if people even get close to hitting me, they'd go crazy. So I had to go in there and I had to just like not get touched with nothing, because you never know. They might stop the fight. He might not even hit you. They might stop the fight. So we just did our best to make it not competitive as possible. And here we are.
Do you feel like that moment or those moments kind of prepared you for like situations like this type of fight?
Yeah, believe it or not, people think Mexico is just like a easy fights, and you know you fighting cab drivers, but it definitely prepared me for these moments. And on June 4th, I'm gonna show it that everything up to this point made me ready for that one night.
Right. Nah, definitely. That's super interesting, man. You know, you mentioned your dad, and you know, you always give your dad a lot of praise. I see him active. First of all, I love to see that, like an active black father, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But then it's weird because we see like father-son trainers sometimes, right? And then sometimes it'd be like the weird dynamic, right? Because it's your dad, but it's also your trainer. How you feel like you've been able to just manage that part of it? Like,
So like, when my pops, I got like a new millennial pop. So he adjusting to everything that, you know, come at us.
Yeah.
Like whether it's fame, whether it's girls, whether it's money, you know, he's able to adjust. He not like a old like pops that's just like stuck in his
Right.
old ways.
Yeah.
Like he don't know no better type thing. Like he understands the man that I'm becoming today, and he just adjusting to it. Like, you know, and that's what I love about it the most, because, you know, most fathers, it could be hard just seeing your son grow into a man, and, you know, now he calling the shots.
right. Nah,
But my
for
dad,
sure.
he understands that, and he rides with it.
Do you feel like, because I feel like there was the, if you talking about like when a dad, if you watching this, like we never really seen you getting beat up. You ain't never got beat up in the ring like that. But in a situation where it was like, as a dad, you might want to do something like, yo, I might want to stop the fight or whatever, because the dad instincts. But as a trainer, you feel differently. Do you ever feel like that sort of balance between those two types of things?
Yeah, I never really thought about that like too deeply, because like,
Ain't nobody touching.
come on,
Yeah,
that's
right.
me.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Nah, but I don't know. I just never really like, you know, we haven't crossed that road, and
Yeah.
hopefully we never have to cross that road.
Nah, for sure. Absolutely. Like I said, I think your career up until this point been pretty flawless. You know what I'm saying? Like you had one mislap in the Linares fight, and they gave you, like,
That's
you
all
caught
they-
flack for
that's
that,
all they
though.
talk about. That's all they talk
but
about.
I think, because one is when the expectations are super high, anytime they see a little chink in your armor, that's what's going to come with it.
I mean, that just come with it, you know. Yeah, it's boxing. You can't swim without getting wet. It's just we going in there and we punching each other. How you think you gonna punch somebody for your whole career? You never gonna get punched back. I mean, that's just boxing. Of course, we try our best to you know, be ready for it, or, you know, prepare our bodies for it, or, you know, just work on our defense. But it's boxing. You know, you gonna get hit, and it is what it is.
Tell me how you felt in that moment, right? Because, like, obviously you've been fighting for a long time. I'm sure you got hit in the gym, but that was the first time under the lights anybody seen that.
Yeah.
What was it like just for you? Like, because you recovered pretty solidly. You came back. What was it like in that moment when it happened? Like, what is Devin thinking about in that moment?
So, like, I never been hurt or never been dropped, nothing in my life. Nothing in my life.
Come on,
So,
stop capping
no,
that.
I
Never?
swear.
Damn.
Never nothing in my life. So for that when it happened, it was like when I was walking back to the corner, I didn't know that I was hurt. It didn't feel like, just felt like,
you didn't
know,
feel hurt.
Yeah. I knew that I got hit with a good shot. That's why I smiled, but it wasn't because I was hurt. Right. So when my legs started acting a little off,
right,
the crowd started going crazy.
Sure.
So I'm like, the fuck? What are they going crazy about? But it's my legs. My legs fucked up.
So your mental was still there, though.
Yeah. No, I knew what was going on. I knew through the whole thing. So that's why in the next round I was like, let me just tie up, because I don't know. I could still be hurt. Yeah. But when I got up, I wasn't hurt at all. I wasn't hurt anymore. Yeah. But I didn't know. So I was like, well, let me just tie up, because I don't want to be that guy that they say, damn, he got hit. Why didn't he just tie up? All he had to do was tie up. All he had to do was tie up.
Right.
Not that guy. I'm not doing that.
For sure.
So I'd rather be that guy that say what they say all I do is huggy boy and all that. So be it. We got the win. We on to the next, and now we going at undisputed.
I love that mentality. Do you feel like it's unfair just because of that one moment that they question your chin and stuff like that?
Nah, it's boxing. It's boxing. That they're gonna find something to say. If you just go in there and you knock everybody out, they say, oh, he knocks everybody out because he has no skills.
Right.
Then if you got all the skills in the world and you don't knock nobody out, they say, oh, he can't knock nobody out. So they gonna say something regardless. That's just sports. Period. They gonna say, they talk about the greats.
Yeah, for
sure. It come with it.
Nah, for sure.
I'll be mad if they wasn't talking about me. Then I would be like, damn, I wish they were saying something. They not saying nothing. Did they even watch the fight?
Right.
You know, the world saw it, and that's all that matters.
Nah, for sure. I love that. You obviously you in one of the hottest division in boxing right now, right? Like, I feel like they was calling you out of 4 kings at one point, I think, you know what I'm saying? When you think about, like, I guess, you know, these different fights, like, I know you sparred a bunch of them already, like, y'all been doing this in the amateur days. How you feel like you fare now? Like, we looking at, like, somebody like Ryan Garcia, right? He got a fight, I think, is it tonight maybe? Or tomorrow? Like, when you thinking about that, like, just, you know, people that you fought before, but now it's different. Y'all both grown, you in a different space, he in a different space. What does that look like to you?
I mean, those are big fights. Guys that I came up with are still there. Like, Ryan Garcia was a rival at a young age, and he's still a rival now. So, I mean, that's just, you know, we grow into to be a mega fight one day.
Yeah. When you think of these mega fights, do you feel like are these things that gotta build first, like these type of fights,
Yeah.
or is it just some shit you could go in like, yo, we
No,
ready
no, no.
now?
Of course. I mean, if we want to make the most money possible, you definitely gotta, build these fights. But right now, I feel like these fights are big already.
I feel like that too.
Yeah, we can make a lot of money already. So
Yeah.
I mean, of course they get bigger with time, but I got a lot of you guys to knock off. So let me start now.
So good shit. I like that. If you had to rank them, obviously you're gonna rank yourself number one. But if you felt like you had to rank the most difficult opponent at 35, like maybe give me like 3 of them versus the most difficult to like the ones you feel like is kind of I got that.
I would say probably Loma, then Tank, and who else is there? Because Teal's at 140 now.
Ryan.
So then Ryan, I think Ryan, I guess.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
The big ones.
Yeah.
Shakur's still at 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So Loma would probably be the toughest you feel like.
Yeah. I mean, but styles make fights. You never know.
True. Yeah. Obviously the Tank fight is also a super fight, right? Like, I like seeing y'all talking back and forth sometimes. Y'all niggas be going at it on Twitter once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because you at a point like you started after him, right? And I think just a lot of people are saying and blaming like, his promotional company, or he hasn't had the big marquee fights that you're starting to have, that Shakur's starting to have, and he hasn't really had that yet. Would you say, or you attribute that more to like, is that the promotional side, like the promotion shit, or is it more like the fighter, like now?
I don't know. I don't really know like his situation, so I can't really speak on it.
Yeah.
But you see what I did to make the big fights happen, and I'm 23 years old. He's 27, so just I'm doing whatever I can to make the biggest fights happen. I signed a whole new contract with a different promoter to make the biggest fights happen. So I don't know. I don't know who to blame over there, but somebody.
Right. Do you think does that make it tougher for you, like when you want to land these types of fights when they at like opposite promotional companies and shit like that?
Nah, because I just feel like it's up to the fighters. We're the ones with the power. If we really want to make these fights happen, we can. But it takes 2 to tango. I can't just be the only one that wanted the fights. The other side gotta want it too.
Nah, for sure. Tell me about you, like, kind of growing up, because you turned pro like 16, right?
Yeah.
16, like.
No, 17.
Oh, 17. So what was it like? Tell me about you. Oakland, grew up in.
Yeah,
Grew up in
I was born in San Francisco, but grew up in between Oakland.
What was that like? Like just kind of growing up. Who was young Devin before we got to all this shit? Before it was lit.
I was young, So like my family like was always like my dad like made sure that like I was away from like the streets
shit,
and all that shit. So my dad was like molded it for me to be like good and keep my head on straight, because in Oakland it's
crazy.
It's
Yeah,
tough.
get nasty
It's tough.
out there, yeah.
It's tough. So yeah.
What was you like in school? Like what was?
To be honest, I was a bad kid in school. I was bad.
Yeah, you was wild?
Yeah, I used to like to fight.
Yeah.
I had like bad anger issues.
Why you think though? Like what was it?
I don't know. Like I don't know. I just was a bad kid. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I just didn't really like. I think I just had so much energy and I didn't know where to like put it, and like I didn't like come from like just where like a fucked up like family or something like that, where like my mom was strung out or no shit like that. So I can't just say like I was just like a bad kid because I had like some fucked up reasons. But I just was like a bad kid. Like I just always liked to fight. I got in trouble in school. So that's what actually got me into boxing, because I was fighting a lot in school. So my dad was like, if you want to fight in school, I'm going to take you to the boxing gym and you're going to get beat up. And every time you keep fighting in school, I'm going to keep bringing you back.
Yeah.
So, and I pretty much just stuck with it.
Just kept coming back.
And what's crazy is a lot of people don't know this. When I first started boxing in Vegas, and I came to a boxing gym. I don't remember the name of it, but I started training with a dude named Derek Harmon, and he works for Top Rank now. So he's the guy who like helped put the deal together for me to come over here to Top Rank. So
shit.
Yeah. So
he
he
full
saw me.
circle then.
Yeah, he saw me when I was like 8 years old. So it's crazy.
Damn. So what? All right, you in the amateurs, right? Like you doing it. What point do you realize like this is something real? Cause like I had certain shit. Like I was my grandfather. He was a musician. He played the saxophone and shit. So he used to like make me play the saxophone, and it was cool. But I didn't really like love it like that. Like, it was cool. What point did you feel like you started to like love it? Like, all right, I'm here. It's not just my dad bringing me. Like, I love this.
I would say like when I was like 13, 14, I remember I had lost in like a tournament. And I was like, man, I'm done losing. I'm about to take this shit serious for real. Like, I'm done losing. I'm not losing no more. And that's when I just went on a run. Like, when I was winning all the nationals, going overseas, like, medaling over there and doing all that to where it was just like, yeah, I'm about to really make a lot of money.
So it was
with this
that
shit.
first L that just motivated you?
Yeah, it wasn't my first one. It was just like that one.
What was it about that L?
It was
Like,
just
what was it like?
Like I'm done losing. Like I'm tired of fucking losing. I'm tired of fucking losing, bro.
Right.
I'm about to get my shit together, and I'm about to really put my all into it to where like for real, like I'm about to make this a thing.
Yeah.
And like I just got super serious through that time, and then I just been keeping my foot on the gas.
Yeah, I love that. With that, I think, you know, along with your growth, it comes a lot of celebrity, right? Like you know, you getting lit. We seeing that. How do you manage that part of it, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I already can see where you headed with this.
No, I'm just saying that because I mean like this. I mean like from like when I look at somebody like AB, right?
Yeah.
AB was a talented fighter, but I feel like he was just doing a lot of shit because you get caught up in the life sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, how was that for you? Like, that
I mean,
part of
like, it's just like that shit. Like, it's cool, but like, it's just like it's not really like. It don't really excite me enough. Like, I really want to be great. Like, this is something that I really love to do. It's not like a job to me to where like I love to be in the gym. Like when I'm out of training, I cannot wait to go back working out. I'm like when I'm like partying too much, like and I mean partying by just like eating, just relaxing, traveling, doing all that. I'd be like, man, I can't wait to get back in the gym, man. This shit feel weird. I need some water. I want to get back on this diet. This shit just like it's whatever. So like I'd be like happy to do this. This is like fun. I love like fucking drinking my gallon of water, going to the gym, lacing up my shoes, jumping rope, like that shit fun to me. So it's hard to get like sidetracked when it's really something that you love to do, and I really want to be mentioned with the greats when it's all said and done. And I studied the greats, so I know what it takes to get there. So
yeah, I love that. You said you knew where I was going. You listen, Dev, you the king of the IG models, baby. You gotta listen, man. What's that like? Like you know what I'm saying? You a young dude, you know what I'm saying? It's lit outside. You know, what's that like? Like people want to know, like just the dating life part of it. Like, is it just like, you know, I'm just having fun, or is it like
just fun?
Just come with it.
That's all. It's just fun.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nah, for sure. We're gonna leave it at that.
No, I mean, you know, it is what it is, you know.
You got the Mount Rushmore of IG models. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, that sound bad. Though.
Does it sound bad?
I don't like the way that sound because that's not true. Because like, you know, so I'm young, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people like we don't get the chance to see your dating life. You know, you may go through 10 girls before you find that one. I don't know if you got a girl or not, or whatever the case may be. But a lot of people they go through many girls to get to find that one, and it just so happened that the world is looking in on me looking for that one girl. Yeah. So that's all that is.
Does it make it harder, that part of it, that everybody is zoomed in on your life and shit?
It definitely makes it harder because you may not find that one girl because she might be looking at you like you dating all these girls.
Right.
But she don't know I'm really trying to find you. That's why I'm dating all these girls.
Smooth. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
No, but that's the truth. Because, you know, like a lot of people, we don't know how many girls your pops done went through to find your mom.
That's a fact.
So
You're right.
Just Devin Haney, y'all looking in a little too close. Just back it up some. Let me work this out and let me find that one.
I love that, man. That's what's up. That's funny. Super dope, man. I think, you know, one of the interesting parts I feel like just viewing your career, I know I heard your pop say this in another interview. He was like, the time, he always knew who he was. He said, like, you know, I seen him from whatever, I knew who he was. But when I seen him spar Floyd, that's what he was like, oh shit, like this felt differently.
Yeah.
That sparring session for you, did it have the same effect on you that it did on your pops? Just
it just like when I sparred Floyd, it just took my confidence to like a total different level to where like I was still fighting like guys like in Mexico, but I was fighting in Mexico and I was fighting in the US, but it was just like lower level guys to where it was just like if I could go in there and I could hold my own with all-time great, then these guys, I should be blowing them out the water. So it just like it just told me where I was at, and it just gave me more confidence and more like hunger to go even harder, because if I'm doing good with Floyd at a young age, sky's the limit.
For sure. I mean,
and Floyd, he even did that. If he'd tell you stories about when him sparring Sweet Pea
facts.
and many other fighters coming up, him sparring champions, and that's just motivation. And that's why even you know, I'll spar a young guy, even though I'm young, but I'm really like an
But
OG.
you a veteran.
Yeah, I'm really like
OG.
an OG
That's a
OG in
fact.
the game.
Yeah.
I spar young guys because you never know, they would just be needing that extra push to go even harder.
Yeah.
And the young guys be hungry, you know. And I'm young. I'm not saying, but
Yeah.
I'm really like an OG,
OG.
like I said.
Young
so
OG.
so
Yeah.
so they be hungry, so they'll even push you because they want to prove themselves. They want to you know, get a name off of you.
Yeah.
You know, as bad as it may sound, that's just the reality of it. And I done been in that position to where I was trying to make a name out of anybody that I sparred. I was begging to spar champions. And I had a young fighter, Abdullah, asked me to spar me today.
Shout out to
You know what I'm
Abdullah.
saying? If Abdullah was orthodox, then I would have sparred with him. But I told him, yeah, but he's
Southpaw.
He's southpaw.
Yeah.
You know, we fighting George Kambosos, so we gotta stay focused.
Nah, for sure. That's interesting. I love that. Just like the confidence part, right? Like being able to build. You said like, you know, in that part, was you trying to like? Because obviously it's Floyd, right? Like once you get in the ring, like that's, you know, we all look up to Floyd. You in that generation. Was it like your mentality at that point was like, nigga, I'm trying to show out, or was it just like I'm gonna just do what I do? Like, what was your mentality?
No,
in that
it wasn't.
time?
It wasn't no show out because I didn't want him to show out on me. So I'm not trying to go in there and do too much now. Like I'm trying to get the best of him, but I'm not trying to just, you know, I ain't finna be in there showboating. I'm trying to really get some real work in because you don't know what to expect. That's Floyd. You know, I didn't see him whoop plenty of niggas, like endless list of niggas. So I'm going in there, I'm focused, 100% focused. I'm not doing no talking. I'm not doing nothing, no looking around. I'm looking at Floyd. I'm watching him, everything he do, everything. I'm trying to, you know, learn and study him, see if he gonna go hard or what type time he on, because I just, like, it was just like a dream come true for me, and I didn't want to take it for granted, and I wanted to do my best. And I thank God that Floyd, you know, let me spar him, because it meant so much to me. Even to this day, you know, me being able to tell a story like this is you know, something you can't buy.
Absolutely, priceless. I love that. I love the respect you actually have for him as well. I feel like because I seen you in videos back in the day with his pops, and I feel like Roger. Like there was a time I felt like you was over there at the Mayweather gym in the doghouse. Did you pick up like different things and learn kind of different shit from that experience?
Hell yeah. I mean, if you look at my style now, I mean, a lot of it comes from the Mayweathers. I didn't train with Jeff Mayweather, Roger, and Floyd Senior for many years, even at a long time in my pro career. So, yeah, I mean, I picked up so much. I mean, look at the shoulder roll. That comes from the Mayweathers.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. I think another interesting thing, like you got some legendary sparring sessions that everybody talking about.
Yeah.
You and Shakur, that's one of them, right? Like everybody, you know, it's kind of like it remind me of like the Superman versus Batman shit, where everybody kind of picking up.
And see, a lot of people didn't really understand that sparring session because not a lot of people knew Shakur at that time. Like Shakur, this was before he went to Olympics or before he even like had qualified for the Olympics. I think. Yeah. I think so. I think he was getting ready to try to qualify for it. So a lot of people didn't understand that. And they was like, damn, Shakur is good. But they didn't know who Shakur was. Now it makes sense that now we're seeing the type of fighter that Shakur is and how much talent he got. So now it makes sense.
Right. I feel like I seen a video where he was like, you know, he felt like you was his little man at that time. I don't know, at the time, do you feel like the gap is closed, you know, from back then?
I mean, come on now. I mean, can't nobody little man me. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even mean from not
to this day. So I mean, come on now.
But just from a boxing standpoint, not on some like little man type shit.
From the boxing standpoint, can't nobody little man me. I mean,
I like that.
The biggest and the baddest of them. So yeah.
Nah, for sure. I love that. Where do you feel like this a win off of this next fight? Where does it take you in your mind?
I mean, this is the biggest achievement in boxing. I mean, what gets better than, you know, go up to the next weight, do undisputed again? Like, so this is everything. This is the top of the top, and it puts me at the top of the lightweight division, puts me on the pound for pound list, and yeah.
You feel like that? Like automatic?
I mean, I gotta be on the pound for pound list.
You feel like right now you're on pound for pound?
No. No, not right now. But after this, I gotta be, because they said lightweight division was the best division in boxing, right?
Facts.
So now that I'm on top of the lightweight division, there's no other champions in lightweight division.
Right.
you gotta put me on the pound for pound list.
Right. No, for sure. I like that. Man, being like I said, I started off. I get all the rappers on this show. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tell me who you listening to, who you bump when you know Devin trying to get ready, get in that zone. Who you fucking with?
I fuck with Dirk. I fuck with Baby.
Yeah.
Meek. You from Philly, right? Where you from?
Nah, I'm from New York.
Oh, you from New
Queens.
York. You from
Yeah,
New York. You from New York.
I like Dirk on fire, bro.
Dirk on fire right now. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Like hit after hit after hit.
Yeah.
Like his whole album.
His album's
like,
crazy.
every song. I listen to every
Pumping.
song on there. Every
Yeah.
song.
Is it certain shit that gets you in like a certain mode? Like, do you listen to music to get in a mode, or is it just like kind of just?
Of
casual,
course,
like,
of course. I mean, I listen. If I want to get in a sad mode, I go listen to some
who you
sad
fuck
music.
with? Who you like
I go
some-
fuck with some
Rod
Rod
Wave
Wave.
type?
Yeah, Rod Wave. I go fuck with the Rod Wave or
Yeah.
what's that nigga name? What's it? Giveon? What's his name?
Oh, Giveon?
Giveon. I go
Yeah.
fuck with him.
Yeah, he
Or
hard.
somebody like that. If I want to get on some sad type time.
Right.
But if I want to get turned up, I'll go fuck with Dirk or like Baby or something like that. If I'm trying to get like fly or something
Yeah,
like that, like
right.
I'll go watch some Dirk videos or some
Yeah.
Baby videos. And
That's a
throw
fact.
that shit on.
That's a fact. If you could bring out somebody, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know how tough it's gonna be since it's Australia, but if you could bring out an artist next fight to kind of walk you down, who you thinking?
I don't know because I wouldn't even want to like even do that because I just know the crowd gonna be so hostile. Like it's like, it's gonna be
Right,
it's gonna be pointless. So I'd rather just walk
wait
out by
until the-
myself.
yeah.
And when we come back with the belts, then we do that.
Okay. Super dope, man. I definitely, I really appreciate you pulling up and your time. Just lastly, like, in sort of thinking about, you know, the future in your career, like when you building because I think the CEO aspect is super interesting. Like I said, you started that real early. When you're thinking about building your promotional company outside of just, you know, you as the fighter, is that something that you interested in?
Of course,
and, like, really
of course,
building out the state?
As of right now, you know, I got one fighter. His name is Amari Jones. He 5-0. He fights on all my cards. And,
okay.
He had like, this is his first year going pro, and he's had 5 fights already. So, you know, we moving him fast, and he just a young prodigy. He of mine. He's going crazy.
You say
like,
Amari Jones?
Amari Jones. He
5-0?
Yeah, he out of Oakland with me. So, but sky's the limit for him. If I just tell him stay focused, learn from me, good and bad. Bad mistakes that I make, learn from that. Good stuff that I get, take that. You know what I'm saying? Take the good. And lead it bad. Lead it bad.
For sure. Do you think that's hard to like to have to be the face of the promote? Like, cause I look at Floyd, right? Like with Floyd, and he's done that, right? He's like the most recent example of kind of doing that, and we see that. And I feel like it's just been hard to manage that, right? Like just him as the fighter, right? He fighting now. Him and Tank announced his, Floyd announced his. So it's like, do you feel like that is a conflicting kind of thing?
See, it just depends. Me, I got ego. I do have ego, but I don't have that much of an ego. Like, I want to see my people win, and that's why I don't have a lot of fighters because I don't just go signing like people. I like to like have like a real like relationship with them. Like I really like. If I like you and I think you're a good fighter, then I want to sign you. Not just because I'm trying to make some money off of you or I feel like you're a good fighter and that's that way. I really like you as a person. So I want to see all my brothers eat. I want to see all my people eat. And I want, if you're my brother, I want you to make it as the highest ever. I want you to be successful. So it's not really hard for me because I want you to win.
Yeah, I love
genuinely.
that. Yeah.
And it's not to make money. It's because I'm just putting you in a position to where you can get your own, and you don't got to sign to somebody who you barely talk to. I'm your brother. You could really tell me the truth and tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you want, what you don't want. You could tell me the truth, and I'm a fighter like you, so I understand.
Right. I love that. Man, Dev, I appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to you getting this W. I think I'm going to put some money up on FanDuel. You know what I'm saying? Don't leave me hanging, my nigga.
The odds is good, too. This is my first fight where the odds is
actually like...
they giving me some good numbers. So.
Yeah. And I'm sure that the bag going to triple after this.
If I was a betting man, then I would bet on myself. But, I don't really do too much betting.
Nah, for sure. Listen, Dev, I appreciate you for your time. Thank you. Dope episode of Cigar Talk. My man, Devin Haney. We out of here.